Life is the third sequel that we all been waiting for. To see if it's any good or not. And this movie stars Will Smith and Martin Lawrence as they return for their characters. And this movie is not directed by Michael Bay at all. Since Sony decided to go ahead and invite two directors that I don't even know, they directed this movie and made it good. In this movie, in this film, Marcus is getting ready to retire, and Mike is trying to convince him not to retire. So now they work for the ammo team. There's an assassin who's shooting them out of targets, shooting at people, getting people killed. Mike and Marcus and his ammo team has to figure out how to stop this assassin. And that's all. I enjoy Bad Boys for life. I gotta say, like I said, this movie is not directed by Michael Bay, which is a plus. He directed the last two movies, since Sony heard that Bad Boys 1 and 2 were the baddest movies. And now, well, they were terrible movies, but they're good movies, though. Um, I gotta say, Bad Boys for Life is actually the greatest movie I ever watched in my life. I'm dead serious, because Bad Boys for Life changed everything from the Michael Bay style. Just a little bit. But this movie was fantastic. I gotta say, this movie is much better than the last two Bad Boys movies. The first one, I watched the first movie like twice. I've seen the second one like a couple of thousand times, I guess. Um, and I gotta say, the first movie was fine. The second one I actually enjoyed. The second one I actually enjoyed a, a lot more. The first one, was alright. But I like Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. I'm glad Martin Lawrence and Will Smith are really good in these movies. They give a lot of joke performances. They give a lot of tons of jokes, funniness and laughter. And then in this movie got me laughing up the storm. This movie had a lot of great jokes with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, I gotta say, they work together as a team. They work really great as a team in this movie. Their their jokes in this movie is really funny. They got me laughing. I knew Martin Lawrence and Will Smith would get me laughing up this when I watched this movie, and I was just like, wow, this movie's really funny. But it was funny. This was a funny movie, but it's an action movie as well, full of action, comedy, and police, and a buddy like a buddy cop movie of some sort. But this is a buddy cop movie. Tell you this, I'm not taking nothing away. I just watched this movie. I'm not taking nothing away, because no, thank you. You gotta watch. Tell y'all this. You gotta watch this movie. I'm not taking nothing away at all. You gotta watch it. It's really good. The action sequences, I gotta say, the action scenes I love. The action scenes understand. The villains in this movie. Well, the action sequences are fantastic. Gives a lot of great explosions. And shootouts and all that kind of stuff. Police chases, car chases, or whatever. It's the best thing. And what else? Oh, and the villain in this movie, I gotta say, the villains in the movie are great, much better. The last two movies, I gotta say, the villains in the last two Bad Boys movies were a bit of a joke, like too lazy, trying to rush through. And I'm just like, oh, come on, y'all, they gotta do better than that. Well, it's alright. I already seen the last two movies just like already anyway. So Will Smith is really good, great. He's fantastic. His performance is great. His performance is fantastic. He's giving a lot of him and Martin Lawrence give a lot of great performances in this movie, and funny jokes, funny jokes. I gotta say, this movie sometimes can have a little bit of a Michael Bay-ish style in some scenes in the movie. Um, yeah, which kind of didn't really work. Um, but I actually enjoyed this movie though. It's a lot of fun. This is a fun movie. I bet all the adults and police officers and whoever in the CIA, FBI, SWAT team is probably actually gonna enjoy this movie, because this is a police buddy cop movie about Martin Lawrence and Will Smith being police officers saying, we we ride together, we die together, bad boys for life. That's what they said in the last two movies. And I think It's great to have Martin Lawrence and Will Smith come back, because I know we haven't seen Martin Lawrence in like a while now. I'm like, where? I understand he had to take a break for a little while. Um, when I heard him making a bad, when I heard about the Bad Boys, when I heard about Bad Boys 4, I was just like, Bad Boys 4, Bad Boys 4. I thought Bad Boys for Life was the last one, but no, they're making a Bad Boys 4, and I'm like, well, if y'all gonna call it Bad Boys 4, y'all should call it Bad Boys the Final Chapter or Bad Boys One Last Time. I think the Final Chapter or One Last Time um has to be the right title. It's up to Sony to which title do they want for Bad Boys 4. They can either call it Bad Boy or call it Bad Boys Forever After. Well, no, take that back. That's too much. Just kidding. Um, like I said, I enjoy Will Smith and Martin Lawrence and their jokes in the movie. Their jokes in the movie is really made me laugh. They got me laughing up. They got me cracking up, laughing. They got me laughing and laughing and laughing the entire time. It was so funny. The final battle is fantastic. The final battle, I'm not taking nothing away. Like I said, I won't take nothing away from this movie. You guys got to go see Bad Boys for Life. It's really good. It's much better than the last two movies. I think these two directors did a really good job with making this movie much better than the last two movies. There could be some stunts in the movie that just didn't work. The stunts in the movie, I gotta say, didn't really work that well. Um, they could at least done better, like help Will Smith and Martin Lawrence out with the stunts. The stunts in the movie were like okay, but it just didn't work out that much. There can be sometimes there can be some scenes that there can be a little bit Michael Bay-ish in some areas in this movie, but I don't blame the movie. I understand the directors did a really good job. I understand sometimes every director is not perfect. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. We all do. That's all. But at least Martin Lawrence and Will Smith gives a lot of strength in this movie, gives a lot of heart. Will Smith gives a lot of heart in this movie, including Martin Lawrence. They give a lot of funny jokes and a lot of heart to each other because they're like brothers. You know, like, well, they're best friends, but they're kind of like they're more like brothers and best friends at the same time. But that's all. But that's all I gotta say. The Ammo team, I gotta say, in this movie, they're really hilarious. Vanessa Hudgens is really funny. I like Vanessa Hudgens. I think my first time watching Vanessa Hudgens movies was mostly High School Musical and Thunderbirds. And I gotta say, she's really hilarious. She gives a lot of laughs as well. And the rest of the characters, they give a lot of, some of them give a lot of laughs, and one dude then just gives a little bit of laugh a little bit. The villain in this movie, who is this assassin who shoots amount of targets, he's really good. The assassin, the bad guy in the movie, who's the assassin who shoots at people, he's really good in this movie. He is fantastic. Um, yeah, he's really good in this movie. He's not slacking off. He's just taking his time to do his own villain stuff that he's actually trying to do. To give his bad guy, well, no, take that back. I don't know. Uh, oh well, that's all. But it's just that Bad Boys for Life is much better. So I gotta say, this movie is much better than the last two movies that Michael Bay directed. Michael, when Michael Bay directs movies, it's just he just makes the same exact things. The action is just slow. The action sequences sometimes can be slow. There's slow motion, too much of the military subplots or whatever you call it. But like he did with the Transformers movies, he makes the same exact stories. This is why tons of people are telling Michael Bay to stop directing movies, like he did with Six Underground, a Netflix movie that I watched that I told you guys about on my Transformers movie review. That I bet so many people are gonna tell Michael Bay to stop directing movies because all he's gonna do is just make the same exact thing, the same action, over and over and over again. But this movie is very exciting. These two directors did an excellent job. Because I think the question is are they gonna save Are they gonna save the franchise and fix everything that Michael Bay made a mistake on with the Bad Boys films? Well, that's my only thing about this. That's my only biggest thing that I want to know. Is these two directors actually gonna fix everything with the Bad Boys movies and make it much better then the last two will help get the last two movies and make it much greater, and that's all. If that's my only question, so that's all I know. So I think that's all I gotta say about this movie review for Bad Boys for Life. But I enjoyed the trailers. The trailers in this movie did tell me a lot going on. Did not give anything away, but the funny jokes, like I said, the jokes, the action sequences, the villains, everything, everything in the movie is well done. Well, it's all well done. So what these two directors wanted to do is make this movie much better than the last two movies, and that's what they did. They did a really good job with the action scenes, but sometimes they can have it a little bit of a Michael Bayish style, and sometimes they do it their own style back and forth. But that's all. That's all I gotta say about this movie review. So that's all. Nothing much to say about this movie review. Nothing much to say about the movie right now. I just haven't watched Bad Boys in a long, long time. I understand so many fans, including myself, have been waiting for Bad Boys 3 to come out. When I heard they're making a Bad Boys 4, I was just like, wait, are y'all sure they're making a Bad Boys 4? Because I thought Bad Boys for Life was the last one. But I think we don't know if we're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to see what happens first and see if Bad Boys is actually. I know Bad Boys 4 is getting a sequel. Bad Boys is getting another sequel, which is number 4. Sony has to work that out. So that's all I gotta say about this movie review for Bad Boys for Life. So be sure to like, subscribe, press notification button, follow me on Instagram, and comment down below, and I'll see you on my next video, and thanks for watching.